Hey, welcome to a new video. Today's a very special one. It's the realization of a second dream, getting my dream wheels fitted to Project 964. As you remember, Nakai-san lent some of his spare wheels for me to use while I was waiting for the wheels to be created. And this is pretty much where the video ends. But the story begins in Osaka at Work Wheels, where I actually got to see my own wheels being put together. So we're gonna head down there now and begin the episode from there. Alright, so here is where the process for the wheel change all began. We are at Work Wheels in Osaka, just about to see my wheels being put together and kind of see the whole production line of how two-piece wheels are made here in Osaka, all made in Japan in this beautiful facility, and we're going to follow the entire process right up until they're boxed and shipped out. What they're doing now is basically lining up the two sides of the barrels, the two pieces, and up to 18 inches, which is what the wheels are actually sized at. They do weld the two parts together rather than bolting, so it's more to do with kind of like passing homologation here in Japan. There's some different regulation on sizing, and 18 basically requires the welding, so they're just prepping, aligning before the actual weld is put down. I can't believe they're so wide. It's so crazy. My God. And of course, as you can see, the two barrels, or at least the two sides of the barrels, one is the polished part, which obviously faces outside, and then the inner side has been left in the raw finish, which is actually probably better because it deals with brake dust a little bit better. All right, next step here is to actually fit the hardware, so all the bolts and fasteners are being slotted in place. And of course, Nakai-san actually gave me the precise measurements for how the offset was going to be. I actually chose the coloring, so it's going to be a polished silver barrel and a metallic silver center. So quite the contrast to what I'm running now on the wheels that Nakai lent me kindly back in December. Alright, so after being aligned and all the fasteners dropped in place, they proceed to the next step here on the production line. Those are the two rears disappearing down the conveyor belt here. Oh yes. I simply love the SKs here, but not going for these this time. It will be the M1Rs. All right, so we have the fronts now going into the same jig here for alignment. So this is the back side of the front rims. You can actually see the nuts are already being placed there. And just to give you an example of some of the colors available, you got gold, you got like a kind of anodized black, and then like titanium type rainbow effect. It's giving it a rough finish to prep it for the welding. I thought the first ones were the rears, but these are the rears. They're actually way wider than I thought. Look at the size of these things. Right, let's follow the fronts back on that side of the production line. It's not every day you actually get to see your own wheels being put together. This is very, very special. And with this shiny look, I think it's totally going to change the look of the car. So every wheel is accompanied by the spec sheet, so the guys here assembling know exactly what to do. Each step of the production is signed off, and you can see there the actual centers laid out on the table. So all the nuts are being laid out on another jig here. You can see they go through quite a lot in one day. The disc centers are placed in position, and then the barrel dropped And you can see exactly what that jig was for. Alright, so first wheel done, one of the fronts. And you can kind of get an idea of what it's all going to look like. Silver against shiny silver. Alright, next stop, the rears have just arrived down the line. Signing off on this particular step. Big boys, the rears in place. So you can see the rears, these are a 12J wide barrel, and we'll get into the actual fitment later on in the video when we are back at Nakai's shop, and we're gonna nail the fitment and let the master take care of that. All right, so here's the full lineup. Rears first and then the fronts. 10.5 fronts, 12J rears, and now it's about getting the bolts properly torqued before the welding. Right, it's on to the welding. And behind this gentleman is the actual weld setup. Alright, so the actual welding process we can't actually show because it's kind of like a proprietary thing for work wheels. We don't want to show how they do, you know, such intricate details. So it's all automated. The wheel basically spins and the bead is laid down. And each wheel has to go through it now. And yeah, again, we can't show it. Alright, so once pulled out from the welding machine, the bead is cleaned up with a wire brush. Alright, you can see what the bead looks like. Second step after the wire brush is to clean the weld further and grind off the excess. Hey, sorry for the interruption. I just wanted to remind you guys that still over 70% of people that check out Dino DC aren't subscribed. If you notice, Alec and I have been pushing a lot harder to come up with more polished videos. It doesn't cost you anything and it really does help us a lot. So please make sure you hit it. And with that, let's continue back to the video. All right, once the welds are done and cooled off, the wheels are pushed to the next step here in the process, and that's torquing all the bolts down to the right torque rating. The crazy thing is it's all automated, so the machine knows exactly the size and spec of the wheels, and the machine of course knows exactly where the bolts are. You can see the laser pointing right down to the centers, and off it goes. Right torque rating, and basically repeat 36 times. Number 3. It's crazy. So you can actually see the torque rating for each bolt. They all get torqued down to 33.51 Newton meters on the dot, every single one. And the precision is insane. Like every single bolt gets printed out, like the values get printed out for each 36 bolts, which is documentation that stays with work, so they know exactly how each wheel they produce was created, down to how much the bolts were torqued down to. Wild. Right, from the balancer machine it's onto the engraving machine. This is where this little machine is gonna type out all the information on the back of the rim, and since there's potential for metal to be, you know, flicked and flown around, this box actually comes down and covers the entire work area. So this is the application of the silicone bead done by hand over the weld, protect against oxidation. After the silicone bead, it's onto the Loctite part. So you see the little syringe there. So after a specific amount of time, the wheel is flipped over, just like this, so that the Loctite can flow all around the bolt. And this is the very final step, quality control. So everything is checked. You know, everything should match up, all the numbers, the orders, the PCD, the coloring, the types of rims, the types of bolts, all the balancing that was printed out by the receipt, all checked through thoroughly before being passed on to the packaging and boxing step. There it is, first wheel done, one of the fronts. So while we wait for the rears to be finally checked, we were going to look at these wheels actually be packaged before they shipped to me, but they're actually going to wait a whole day for the silicone to dry before they box them. But it's pretty simple. Basically, they are moved to this section of the factory here, where each wheel is put in its respective box with all the paperwork and shipped out for delivery. And you can see there's even a truck outside right now picking up the massive orders. So work actually builds 400 to 500 wheels a day here, just over 100 sets. It's actually peak season right now, so a lot of orders are coming in, but it's absolutely incredible. That's equating to about 100,000 wheels a year of just the two-piece wheels that are built here in Japan. All made in Japan, top quality production, as you've seen. So extremely excited to be putting the wheels on the Porsche. Just waiting for Nakai-san to come back to Japan to actually do that. So it's not over yet. All right, here are all four wheels completed. They're going to be sitting here for a good day in this area over here. So the silicone dries before being boxed, but it's pretty crazy to see a whole new set of wheels that's just about to be fitted to your own car. So beautifully finished. So yeah, I've gone for a very simple silver on silver. Just like the approach of the Porsche itself, just kept it simple, and hopefully it works out nicely. All right, so fast forward a few days, the wheels have arrived. I'm actually at Aki's house. If you remember, we did the NSX-R detailing a couple of years ago here at his garage. And the reason for that is because Aki is a bit of a OCD specialist when it comes to detailing. So he's going to hook me up with some of his wheel coating. We're going to prep the wheels before the tires get fitted at Sunbeam, and before I take the whole ensemble over to Nakai-san, who's back in Japan for 3 days. So I have a very short window to get this wheel change done. All right, so wipe down the wheels to get rid of oils and stuff like that from production. We got Rim Evo here from Guillaume. Really good wheel coating apparently. Aki has already tested it out, so we're gonna get busy and apply that to all four wheels. So wheel coating is done, super sleek. It's almost like glass, so hopefully that protects against brake dust and tar and whatnot. Next stop is to head to Sunbeam. They're going to be fitting the tires tomorrow. Actually, maybe I'll wait an extra day just so the coating actually cures. So next up, you'll be seeing me at Sunbeam getting the tires fitted, and then it's off to Nakai's place once he's back here in Japan. Right, so next step in the wheel change procedure here is to get the tires fitted on the work wheels, and you'll finally be able to see what the setup is going to look like. Of course, Nakai is probably going to end up putting the Idlers logo on the sidewall, do his usual stencil, because that's how I would want it anyways. So we're going to get the guys here at Sunbeam to mount the wheels. They have a sick 911 being washed here, and this E46 M3 with a carbon bonnet and some nice Advan GTs waiting for some work. And as ever, the shop here at Sunbeam is jam-packed full of awesome stuff. Starting off with my wheels here. A sick old 911 here. Looks beautiful in blue. As ever, Sunbeam is always super busy with cool cars being worked on the entire time. Lots of BMWs in here. A sick F-Series. Another E46 that Porsche is just about to leave. And my wheels are already in the process of receiving their tires. These guys always work super fast. A massive thank you to Sunbeam for the support fitting, and of course Yokohama for always having my back with the best tires out there. I'm running Yokohama AD09s on the Porsche as well, so both the GTR and the RWB are on Neovas now. So Nakai-san basically gave me all the specs of both the wheels and the tires. We're running 255/35 R18s at the front and 295s at the rear, 30R18. So he's going to work on the fitment. It's not going to be as wide as what I borrowed from him. It's going to be a little bit more conservative on the width, but I think the fitment is going to be on point. And basically we have 2 days before Nakai-san comes back to get everything ready and dropped off at the shop before heading over there with the Porsche. Right, it's on to the big rears 12J 295s, and I'm really happy with how the coating turned out to be. It's like ice, like glass, super slippery, hopefully well protected. We'll see how this Guion coating works out. The big boys, literally the widest wheels I've ever owned. Serious girth. Already excited how this is looking, and of course they always respect lining up the valve stem with the yellow balance mark on the tire, which of course helps the whole rotational balance be a little bit more in check. And I've seen a lot of shops never even bother to do this, just throw them on there as they are. I just love the tread pattern of Neovas, literally the most aggressive out there. So quiet compared to all the RWBs here. But yes, so after fitting the tires at Sunbeam, getting them all ceramic coated Akis, it's now here at RWB because finally Nakai is back from his New York trip, and we're going to be fitting the wheels, getting the fitment just right, and enjoying looking at what is for now the final step of the RWB conversion for me. I've been running this kind of like setup from Nakai-san for 4 months now, since the car was built in December. And work wheels came through with the custom sizing, and you know, really excited to go for a bit of a change, because you know, from dark wheels like these to something shiny, it really does change the look of the car completely. So after today, after this is done, we go to Tsukuba mountain and get some cool driving shots and basically immortalize the car with a new setup. So first thing to do is have a little readjustment of the rear tailgate, so it doesn't rub on the stops. Alright, off with the first wheel. I'll be kind of sad to see these wheels go, because they just match the car so well, and I just love the unique design, unlike most wheels you would see on RWBs. So really enjoyed running these, but unfortunately today it's goodbye. So the M1Rs are just about to get the idler's stencil on the tire sidewall before being put in the front of the car, and then we have to figure out if we need spacing or adjustments to the actual suspension setup. Alright, so I'm speechless again. I just can't believe what a set of wheels can actually do to a car. Like, it looks like something completely different. But to see it properly, we're gonna head up to Tsukuba mountain now, once Nakai is back and signs the car off. You can do some proper shots with it to really give, you know, a proper impression what those wheels look like on the car. Like I said, it's been completely transformed, so really happy with the look. Now it's time to go and even test out those tires, because finally I got some sticky tires on this and I can really explore the handling a little bit better. Right, I've been doing some driving up and down here, the main stretch of the skyline that crests all of Tsukuba Mountain. And there's this little parking area at the bottom side that today, on a Sunday evening, looks like a bit of a paddock, kind of like Fuji Speedway on kind of like a NS4 open session type day. There's a really sweet older 911 here. Got a Lotus Exige over there, and we've had a few encounters with FL5s and DC5s, and even a Golf R32 that was going pretty hard. And as you can see, this is the kind of toge that really rewards lighter, more nimble cars. So you see a lot of stuff, and again, of course, Japan always offers off the variety that you can expect to see. It's a nice FD2, lots of Mazda Roadsters, even a Copen, Alto Works. Of course, one of the best ways to enjoy these tight toges in Japan is always with cars like, you know, Alto Works and little Honda Beats, K cars basically, lightweight, not too fast, but enough enjoyment from the handling. And the Porsche today is looking especially good with a new set of work wheels, M1Rs, literally change the complete look of the car. I came here probably the first time 23 years ago with Kazama Auto and Andy and Emily Gray from Power Vehicles, checking out some of the illegal drifting that was happening at the time, which still goes on, and brought out so many press cars here. But I haven't been to Tsukuba Mountain in quite a while. But the whole thing that really ties it together for me today is that my very first drive in an RWB Porsche was here at Tsukuba Mountain. I remember shooting Rough Passion back in the day. It must have been like 12 to 15 years ago. Nakai-san handed me the keys to the 993 wide body, and the owner gave me the okay to take it up to Tsukuba Mountain. So I drove it all the way from Kashiwa to here, just like I did today with my RWB. So kind of connecting the lines, you know, coming full circle. And what an enjoyable time it's been. The car looks totally different. The handling is completely transformed. So much grip, so much enjoyment. I'm just gonna keep driving. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. It's been a really interesting journey, and I really need to thank you so much to all the partners that came in to help. Nakai-san at RWB, Work Wheels, Yokohama Tire, and of course you guys for support, subscribing, and checking out the content from Japan. Hope you enjoyed this one. Make sure you check back soon for more.